Shorty. Put the camera on that side this time. Anywho, I don't know what that's from. Anywho, back to the Fogger V4. I've had this puppy for a little while now. You must build it correctly for it to work. I was running this with the airflow control ring off for a long time, just because the airflow control ring is so big. It's over there now. The airflow control ring is so big that, and that's not even going to get picked up, because black and shadows don't work. See that airflow hole right there? You just barely see it in the shadows of the night. What I did was I took the airflow control ring off, and I had been running it off so I could use the full amount of airflow that this thing can take. Alright? But I really don't like the looks of having open threads on there. So what I did was I took a grinder and I ground it all the way down, and you can see where I mucked up somewhere on here. Yeah, right here. Nice and shiny spot. I missed. I missed where I was grinding and ran it off the edge for a second. But, whatever. It's my device. Do whatever I want with it. See that airflow hole? The whole thing is almost exposed now. I ground that airflow control ring down all the way to the knurling. Now, if I loosen this up, maybe you can see. Maybe you can. You see how much of an edge there is right there? I took all that off of the other side. So, now it pretty much is wide open. And yeah, if I want to, funny, it's showing up fine now. If I want to, I can close it all the way down to where it looks like there's no airflow. However, here it comes through alright. Probably because I'm a terrible grinder and it's not completely flush. Whatever. And I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video or not. I did drill out the side airflow holes to match the inside airflow holes, which the inside airflow holes are bigger than the side ones, and that doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to have it nice big airflow holes inside, shouldn't they match the outside ones? Just saying. Why should these ones be smaller on the outside than what you have on the inside? So, I forget what size bit it is. I have standard bits. I think it's around a 3 mil airflow hole on the inside, and it was only 2 something on the sides. So, yeah, I did drill them out. Just like I have the end of this drilled out, you can tell because my pliers slipped off. When you drill out these, they're nice and smooth, and it's going to happen. You're going to muck it up. So, if you really want to, sand it down and repaint it. I don't really care though. I've been using this tip lately, but I was using a wider bore one before. Yeah, just a little update. And yes, this is the Fogger 4.0, and that is never going to show up. But it's right underneath the R in Fogger. I'll roll it real slow. underneath the R in fogger, and it's upside down. Catch the light. You're still not going to see. You see that little indentation right up there under the, right by the R? That says 4.0. So, there are a couple other things I did to this. As such, the inner chimney piece, see where it says fogger. I don't know if the camera will pick this up or not. But if you notice, it's not straight anymore. I took a little Dremel right where the juice flow is, and I rounded it up a little bit. On each of the four, they're not all exactly the same, but on each of the four wick holes, we'll call them, I rounded them up a little bit. And then at the very end here, where the juice channel comes down and stops, I took a drill bit that's just a little bit bigger than that channel, and I just opened it up just a little bit, just indented into it just a little bit, because I noticed it didn't flow quite as well. Now it flows beautifully, and it works like it should work. I've had no issues with it. I don't put any wicking in the juice channels. It's all laying on top of the juice channels, and I use as little as possible. You ever see anybody build a K-Fun when they put their wicks through the coil, and then they pull their wicks straight up, put the chimney over it, not the chimney top, just, you know, the base part of the chimney. Put that down, cut it off even with that top part, and then just put it down over those juice channels. Not super tight, just over them. That's all I do. I don't put anything down the juice channels, because I found on this, any amount is too much. I've put just a couple of little strands of cotton in there, and that was too much. It choked it off. Probably has to do with, I like to build my stuff around 0.6 lately, or lower. And if you go too low with this, say if you want to use 24, yes you can. It's a big pain in the butt to use 24 gauge in the fogger, just because of the way the build deck is. You can get underneath them screws and tighten them down. I did have to replace a screw on this yesterday. You fiddle with a build, you fiddle with this build, you do this build, and, eventually the threads are going to wear out on either the device or the screws. And thankfully, it seemed like the screw wore out. So, because the fogger comes with a couple pieces, there's extra screws in there. Put a new screw on one side, good to go. And it lives up to its name. It is a fog machine.